friend of mine sent me an email. It's actually a memo they got from work saying that production was going to be cut because of the microchip shortage that is coming out of China. This is for, well, my friend, they work for a carrier that pulls for Honda. I'm sure there's others that are, in fact, I know there are others that are being affected by it. So this is for you. We're going to make sense of what is going on right now. So I remember my days when I was doing auto parts, man. I tell you what, it always seemed like something was always going wrong. 2008, we had the recession. Then we were just starting to recover. Japan had that tsunami, which, I mean, their problems were way worse than any of my financial problems. And then you had, I believe there was a microchip issue that happened it's like the late 2000 teens. And then, of course, you had the COVID lockdowns. Like, there's just been one thing after another. And the good thing about where I worked was they had a program called WorkShare, and I think it was based on the flex security model. That's I think that's a European model where the government will subsidize the workers, subsidize the company so that they can keep paying their workers even when there's no work for them. It's got to do with retaining your drivers. Reason being, because in the auto industry, when you need something shipped, you need it shipped yesterday because they work on the just-in-time model, right? So it was, where I worked, it was really good that way. I worked for a little company, actually it was a medium-sized company called Warren Gibson Limited, which has now been sold to CAT. I think it's CAT International, I think it's what they're called, logistics company. So I made a good living despite the fact we got shut down quite a bit. And now you got this latest round of microchips that have been, there's a shortage. And what's happening is in the Netherlands, you got a company called Nexperia. They're the ones that have the knowledge about how the microchips are made. So it's all the trade secrets are contained in Nexperia. It's their microchips. And, excuse me, this company, Nexperia, is owned by a Chinese company called Wingtech out of China. So that's their parent company. And the Dutch government has noticed that the CEO of Nexperia seems to be moving trade secrets over to China. And they also noticed that they are moving equipment from the factory in the Netherlands over to China. So, recognizing what's going on, the Dutch government has taken control of Nexperia in the Netherlands, and in retaliation, the Chinese government has said, well, then we're not shipping any chips. So the way it works is, the knowledge for the chips is in the Netherlands. That's where all the trade secrets are. The production is done in China. They're shipped from China. So you got the two governments, they're fighting with each other right now over this issue, right? Over trade secrets. The Dutch government is trying to protect their own interests, probably to make sure that they still have chips available to them, right? It's an economic thing. And the Chinese company, Wingtech, is saying, hey, we own that company. This is our property now, right? We bought that company, we own it, so they would see the Dutch government as not playing fair. The Dutch government sees the Chinese as trying to steal their intellectual knowledge. So that is what's going on. And it's really no more complicated than that. So until these two governments are done duking it out, you can plan on sitting home for a while. Anyway, so hopefully you work for a company that has the WorkShare program. Hopefully you don't have to go get a new job. So anyway, that's all I got. That's the update. Cheers, take care.